Hello, Greek students, and welcome to Philemon in the Fall, hosted by Dr. Rob Plummer. One of the free resources that we have available for you is a tool that you can use to help learn and retain the vocabulary from Philemon. This is a free tool which is called GNTVocab.com. Just type in the word GNTVocab.com and it will take you to a website which will help you learn your vocabulary. Now, this website requires that you have an account set up with a valid email address. So once you get to this screen, you can either sign in, or if you don't have an account, you can sign up for a new one at this point. Now, this does require a valid email address. We don't share any of your information with anyone for any reason. The purpose of the email address is so that you can keep your account and you can maintain your progress throughout your vocabulary in the Greek New Testament. So we're going to simulate logging into the account, and then we'll show you how to use this free tool. So if you have a new account, you will see a screen pretty much like this. Notice that you have no words learned and your overall accuracy is 0%. That's because you haven't learned any words yet. Let's take a look at some of the settings to see how we can take advantage of this free tool. First, when you're learning words in the New Testament, sometimes people prefer not to include proper names. I like to keep it on that way. I learn all of the words of the New Testament. Keep in mind that if you have this toggle turned off, it will tell you that not all of your words have been learned for the book of Philemon. So just keep that in mind. You can also have an option to play the sound effects or keep them off. Some people find it helpful to have a sound effect that gives them a positive reinforcement for an correct answer, or a negative sound for a missed answer. That's completely up to you, and we have that option available for you. If you have a stronger skills in vocabulary in Greek, you could change the number of new words that you receive all the time to more, or if you feel like you want to learn at a slower rate, you can change the number of words that you receive. We're just going to set this as a default of 5. That way, when you've learned all your words, the system will give you 5 new words at a time. One of the neat things that we've recently added to this is we've enabled Chinese glosses to be shown. We're also in the process of adding Spanish, Finnish, Swedish, and some German, as well as French glosses. So these will take a while to get in place, but keep your eyes open and we will try to get those added as quickly as possible. So let's go back to the learning page. Also, you'll notice this slider here for the learning rate. This tells us how quickly you want to learn words. If you have it set all the way here to 100%, you will only need to see words twice and answer them correctly before a word is considered learned. If you have it all the way to the left to 10%, what that's going to do is you'll have to see each word at least 20 times before it's considered learned. So again, based upon your skills and your background in Greek, try to find a comfortable place for the learning rate slider. Now, in particular, for those of you who are in the Philemon course and you haven't learned any other Greek, one of the things that we offer here is a filter by book. So you'll notice here is Philemon. There's only a total of 140 words that are in that book, but you can also filter by chapter. So if you go to chapter, you can choose the book of Philemon, which only has one chapter, and you can filter by 140 words. Now, how this plays out is if you, for example, choose the book of Matthew, notice that Each chapter has a different number of words, so you can learn a smaller number of words at a time. We're just going to stick with Philemon as the book that we are filtering on. So let's go back to the learning page and we will begin learning. Now, if this is your first time using GNTVocab.com, one of the things that it does is it will always try to start with 20 words. So the first time you use it, you will receive the 20 words used most commonly in the New Testament that are here in Philemon. Now, for example, we have this word "n." Some of the words, and we are working on this as well, some of the words have the ability to display the sound that this word makes. So if you tap little
N,
that little icon there, when you tap it, you'll hear the word itself.
N, N,
Now, not all of them are like that, so we are still working on that. There are more than 5,000 words in the Greek New Testament. So as we add those words, more words will have the audio associated with them. But as you can see, we've got the Greek word up here and then the definition down here. And the system's going to show you 20 of these new words for the first time. Now, all you have to do is just take a look at the Greek word, take a look at the gloss, the English definition, and when you think you really know that word, just click on that card and you'll move on to the next card. Now, again, this step of the process is just to show you the new words that you are learning. So here we have hutos, which is the pronoun for this, he, she, or it. And again, we're learning our cards at this point, and we're going to tap through all 20 cards. You'll also notice on the bottom of the screen that there's a little bar that's growing as we tap through these words. And that simply shows how far along you are in this review stage of the vocabulary building. So I'm just going to tap through these 20 cards to show you what it's like. Now, once you get to that last card, you will begin quizzing on the words that you've seen so far. So here we have the word autos, and we know that that means he, she, it, self, the same. So we tap on that card and we move to the next. Gar is for or because. And again, notice along the bottom, we have a progress bar that will show you how far along you are in this particular quizzing stage. Notice down here we have the little reminder that this is the quizzing stage. So let me tap through these 20 cards. Now you'll notice on the bottom that our progress bar is all the way to the right, which means that we've completed this quizzing stage of the app. So now when we click on this final card, it's going to restart the quizzing with those same 20 words. Now notice up here that the learn status now has a little circle in it and it's half full. This means that we have learned that word half as many times as required for it to be considered learned. Now remember, I had my learning rate slider all the way to the right, so I only need to learn each word twice. But as we go through this again, I'll show you what happens at the end of this quiz stage. Now notice again that this is our last card because our progress bar is all the way to the end. Now watch what happens when we click on the correct card for this vocabulary word. It automatically starts over and gives you 5 new words that you now have to learn. Now, before we resume our learning here, I want to show you a few things that are unique to GNTVocab.com. First, let's take a look at the review list. At this point, you'll see that you have 20 words listed as learned, and the next 5 words have been queued up for you to learn. Also, if you hover over those words, you will see the definition for those words. This is just in case you ever forget about these words. You can do a quick reminder there. Now let's take a look again at the filters. Remember that we signed up, we clicked on Philemon to learn those words, but notice how all of the books of the New Testament have some words learned in them. This is because GNTVocab applies your learning to all the words of the Greek New Testament. So, as you learn the words from one book, those words will be applied to other books. So, once you complete this course in Philemon, you can learn other books of the New Testament and build your vocabulary. So, eventually, you'll learn all the words of the Greek New Testament.